everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. Today's video is going to be the first update for my Panda palette for 2023. I am so excited because I was able to make way more progress what I expected. So I cannot wait to share the progress with you. However, before that, I just want to say that Panda palette is created by Ember F, so I will of course link her channel down below. And I will also link to my Panda palette playlist. This year I am panning the Too Faced Chocolate Bar eyeshadow palette. The reason I'm panning this palette is that this is both my oldest palette and also my favorite palette. Unfortunately, I have noticed that the quality is not quite what it used to be, so now is really time to get good use out of this palette before it totally expires. I'm also choosing a companion palette, not necessarily every month, but I had one for January, so we are going to quickly go over that. And also I do a seasonal build your own palette and I will also share the progress with that. But before the companion palette and the build your own palette, I always want to show you the progress and share my goals with my actual Panda palette. So let's get into it. I'm just going to put up here pictures of my progress with this palette. So there's going to be a picture from the intro and also a picture of where this palette is today. And as you can see, I was able to hit 2 pans on this palette. One of the new pans I am not surprised at all about, and that is milk chocolate. My only goal was to really get a feel of this palette. That's typically a goal that I do have for the first month when I start doing a Panda palette. However, I'm not surprised at all that I hit pan on milk chocolate. I don't track the uses on eyeshadows, but I think it was like under 5 uses that I hit pan on that shade. However, there is another pan that I hit, and that is Candied Violet. I actually hit pan on that today and I was shocked. I did not expect to hit pan on that shade, but I could not be happier because this is my least favorite shade from the palette. So now I have hit pan on this shade, I have reached my goal, and I don't need to use this shade ever again if I don't want to. Well, as I said, I don't track uses, but I have used it a couple of times as a nail polish topper. Like today I am wearing it as a nail polish topper. It goes perfectly with a nail polish. I put it into my 2023. And also I have been wearing it as an eyeshadow here and there. Today I am also wearing it as an eyeshadow. I am wearing from this palette milk chocolate and semi-sweet in the crease and outer V area. Then I decided that I will also put Candied Violet there, but I honestly don't think you can see any purple or violet there. I mean, look. For me it does not look purple, it just kind of looks like murky brown. The color payoff of that shade is not that impressive. I don't even like this kind of really cool shade. This shade I would say is the only clearly cool shade in this palette. Well, maybe Champagne Truffle is kind of like cooler pink. So yeah, really surprised about that pan, really happy with the progress. Some other progress I was able to make is that I was able to expand the pan on Strawberry Bonbon a lot. And the reason to that is that I actually figured out that I can wear it as a blush. I'm actually wearing Strawberry Bonbon as my blush today. Then I am wearing Champagne Truffle as my highlighter. I typically do not like pink blush at all, but since this is such a pale color, I feel I'm able to pull it off a little bit better. And since it's so pale, I don't need to be too conservative with it. I don't need to worry that it's going to get out of control. And I quite like how my look came together today, although it's more cool what I usually go for. About Strawberry Bonbon, it's also something I have been wearing as my lid shade. And actually today I layered all over my lid Strawberry Bonbon and Champagne Truffle, and it makes this beautiful kind of like pinky champagne satin finish eyeshadow. I actually think since I can wear Strawberry Bonbon both as a lid shade and as a blush, I probably can finish it. I wasn't sure about that in the intro. Now I'm pretty sure that I can finish it this year. I will try to do it like during springtime though, because you know, the further the year goes, the less I am into like pink and cool toned makeup. So yeah, that's the progress really with this palette. Maybe I have been able to expand the pan a little bit with semi-sweet or triple fudge, but not significantly. Let's talk about some goals for the next month. My goal will be to hit pan on Black Forest Truffle. There is pretty nice dip going on there on the right side of the pan. I don't know if the camera really picks it up, but I don't think hitting pan is unrealistic at all, especially since this one makes a nice eyeliner. And since February is the Valentine's season, I do want to focus on the kind of like burgundy and pink shades of the palette. Let's talk about the companion palette. So for January, I chose the Urban Decay Naked Smoky to be my companion palette. With this one, there's no reason for me to show a comparison picture of the progress because there's no progress. But I will show you here a picture so you can see the color story maybe a little bit better. So this palette is clearly like a deeper smoky palette, even though there are some neutral and more wearable shades too in this palette. I would say half of the palette is kind of like that neutral wearable, so the 3 first shades and the 3 last shades, and then the 6 shades in the middle are those really cool dark smoky shades. They're not shades that I really enjoy. I have used all of these shades at least once this past month. That was my goal. Today I am wearing this shade Smolder, which is like a really deep shimmery purple. I'm wearing that as my liner. And the other shades I have worn previously. I only created like one really cool smoky look. It was the look I was wearing in my 2023 Project Pan introduction. And I just put all of these like smoky grey shades into that one look because, you know, I thought that I don't want to create a look like that again. Now I'm kind of like on the fence about this palette. I do have this sentimental attachment to this because I in the past used to create like party looks with this palette, and because of that I feel I cannot let go of this palette, and I do still want to get more use out of this before I let go of this. However, I will say it's not a favorite palette of mine in my collection. It's just too cool and too smoky. But the neutral shades I actually do like. I will say not all of them are the greatest quality. Like the shade Radar over here, it's kind of like chunky, not necessarily the most pigmented, so it takes building up. But for example, Dirty Sweet, which is the gold in the palette, is one of my favorite golds in my entire collection. It is so beautiful, metallic, kind of like neutral gold. Doesn't pull too yellow because I don't like that. So what I actually have been thinking about for the past month is that I might make this one my next year's Panda palette. This is my oldest palette in my collection after the chocolate bar. So this was bought in early 2016. But if I'm going to make this one my Panda palette, I am not going to focus at all on the like smoky shades. I might be able to hit pan on Black Market because it's something I would wear as a liner. But I would focus on the 3 first shades and the 3 last shades. I actually think some of them I might even be able to finish in a year. So yeah, that's something I'm thinking for next year. I don't think there's any other palette in my collection that I would be interested in panning right now. And you know, I think since this is the oldest palette after the chocolate bar, it would make sense to pan this one after that. But you know, we'll see. We are just in the end of January. So of course I might very well change my mind, but the neutral shades, they would actually be really everyday appropriate. For February I'm not going to pick a companion palette. It is a shorter month and I feel I do have enough of kind of like those shades that I do want to work on right now in the chocolate bar, because there are the more romantic shades, and also in my Build Your Own palette. And to be completely honest, I don't really have, you know, a palette with that kind of more romantic color story. Let's move on to the companion palette next. So again, I will put here pictures of what the palette looked like a month ago and what it looks like right now. So on this palette I was also able to hit one new pan, and it is a pretty large pan. So I did hit pan on the Jeffree Star Safe Word shade. It is depotted from the Androgyny eyeshadow palette. This shade I put into my 23 in 2023 project pan, and my goal is to finish this shade because I realized that it works perfectly for me as a bronzer. I'm actually wearing it as a bronzer today. Maybe I went a little bit overboard with this because it is a pigmented eyeshadow. I still need to be careful with it even though it is light. However, I really do love the tone of this eyeshadow as a bronzer for my skin now in winter when I don't have any tan. So yeah, there's pretty nice pan there, but we're more going to follow the progress on this one in my 23 in 2023 updates, since this is officially in that project. But other than that eyeshadow, I have been able to expand the pan on the two first KVD shades, so the larger one Lazarus and also the smaller kind of like off-white shade Lucius. And the reason I didn't make that good progress with the white chocolate shade from the chocolate bar is that I have actually been using Lucius quite a bit as my lid shading shade and also as my brow bone highlight. I also put that shade into my 23 in 2023 and my goal is to finish it. And now that I have been going more for cool toned, cool neutral looks, I think this works maybe a little bit better as a setting shade than white chocolate, since white chocolate has yellow undertone to it. You know, I don't think I really have any goals. I just want to focus on kind of like the romantic shades. That's why I put them here. Like, I knew I would be into that kind of colors in February. Okay, so that was really everything for today, except in the really end of the video I will actually write to the screen my eyeshadow numbers. So if you're interested in seeing my pan percentage and stuff like that, stay tuned until the really end. But that was my progress, my goals and everything. Thank you so much for watching and see you on my next one. Bye bye.